Hi moms and coaches. If you are watching this video as a part of my blog post, you guys already got to see Ashley from Get Mom Strong do a strict pull-up she's recovering from Diastasis Recti. She's an awesome coach. I highly recommend going to her site and checking out some of her resources. But in the video that I posted before this, she did a strict pull-up and showed you a method in order to get there. I thought it would be helpful to show everyone what it looks like for a beginner to try this. I am not yet able to engage my abdomen correctly while doing a pull-up, so I am not doing them, even though this part of me is capable of doing a pull-up. This part of me is not, so I am not doing them. So I am a beginner, so I'm going to show you what it looks like to be a beginner and then to fail or to take on more than your body is currently ready for. So if you are a postpartum mom who's trying to come back with this issue, come back to pull-ups, you can see when to stop and what it looks like to do this progression in a good way and when your body has taken on too much. And if you're a coach coaching postpartum athletes, so you can direct clients when they should take a step back when they've taken on too much. For this exercise, you're going to need to know how to engage your transversus abdominis or your TA. That's mentioned a lot in my blog and in other blogs. So to engage the TA, basically what you're going to do is you're going to exhale really forcefully, engage these muscles right here, and pull up into a tight kegel. You should feel it most prominently right here. So I'm going to exhale and pull into a tight kegel, and then you should feel the engagement right here. So before you start this movement, you're gonna have to engage your TA, so that's how you do that. So let me show you up here what this looks like. So basically what this ends up being for beginners is a squat assisted with your arms. So this is an eccentric pull-up movement to try to get you back to pull-ups. But basically what we're doing here is keeping our transversus abdominis engaged. So we're working on strengthening this in order to do a pull-up. So if your linea alba starts to bulge or your back starts to arch, we know that we've overwhelmed your abdomen. So let me show you what this looks like. A good example, most of my weight is going to be on my legs rather than my arms. So I'm going to engage my TA and then I'm going to begin. And so I'm not bulging. So that's a good rep. I'm going to do that a few more times so you can see. Good. One more. All right, and so my back isn't arching and there's no major bulging at the midline, so I know that that is okay for me. So let me show you an example of taking on too much. Watch here. This will bulge a lot more and my back will start to arch once I put too much weight on my arms. So I'm not going to do this very many times because I don't want to hurt myself. So here we go. Okay, so you can see in that example, the linea alba started to bulge far more and my back started arching, so that's a good indicator for me that that's too much weight on my arms. I need to transfer some of the weight to my legs. My transverse abdominis was overwhelmed. So make sure that when you're doing this progression, you're not putting too much weight on your arms. If it overwhelms your TA, you're going to be able to tell at the midline and with the arching of the back. So let me show you another exercise that you can do with rings in order to work on the other side of this issue. Okay, so I have just hung rings so that when I am sitting on the floor, my arms are almost extended. So this is just working the pull up from the opposite direction. So I was working on eccentric. Now I'm going to try to do a pull and keep this engaged. Okay, so I'm going to engage my TA again. And that was okay because there wasn't too much bulging. So I'm going to try that again. And nice, so that works the pull for me from this side. So taking on too much. So you can see there, my linea alba started bulging and my back started arching. That's how I know that I'm pulling way too much or way too high. So you can work it from the top, going down, and then from this direction. You're basically trying to strengthen your TA in order to match this movement. So if it overwhelms your TA, you know it's not ready, your abdomen is not ready for this movement yet. As far as reps go, I wouldn't overwhelm yourself too much. Do this if your TA starts to get tired. That means that this isn't going to be well supported, so that's a pretty good indicator that you should stop and try again later in the day or the next day, and not overwhelm your TA so much that it's going to put pressure on your abdominal wall. That's unhealthy for your linea alba. So I hope that helps you see an example of what it looks like for a beginner to start this progression.